Hi FlossTube, this is Bonnie Jeanne, and this is my Postally Yours channel. I am also known as PostMuse on the internet, and this is FlossTube number 9. And my title for this one is Anticipation and Planning, because winter is finally starting a little bit to draw to a close, and I'm getting very excited about spring. I didn't make a FlossTube last week. I have been sick again. I think my aging body is telling me that being in a mail truck 6 days a week, carrying 50-pound packages is not what I should be doing. However, I really do love doing it, so I'm gonna keep on keeping on. As they say back in the 1960s, it's gonna keep on trucking. And hopefully the spring will give me a little bit more energy. It's just, the long days and it's dark all the time and it's so cold. So, fingers and toes crossed, spring comes soon. I don't know what the groundhog said, but I don't really care. I just want spring to come soon. Even though it has been an incredibly mild winter here, it's still winter and dark and gray. So, first thing I have on my list to talk about is the Nashville Market. My local needle workshop, Stitche New England in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, and the link is below in the informations if you're interested in looking at her website. She does have an online shop that's excellent, I have to say, absolutely amazing. And she has a section for market pre-orders. I'd already ordered one thing. The day it was announced, I was like, I have to have it, and I'll be showing that when I actually do have it physically in my hand. But I have a whole list of other market pre-orders that I'm going to be placing. She said they have to be done by the 29th, I think, or the end of the month. It couldn't be the 29th. This is not a leap year. It must be the 20th. I'm not sure. But anyways, they have to be done fairly soon. So I am hoping that I can just get this order in, and then I'm going to be super excited because I'll have a huge haul to show, and I'm very excited about that. But yeah, the whole Nashville thing, if any of you are on Facebook, I follow. I don't use Facebook as really as social media so much as I do just to follow favorite restaurants and stores, needlework stores. I don't follow any other retail because I'm not interested in any other retail. Outdoor stuff like national parks and so forth. So that's what I use. I don't typically interact a lot on Facebook, but I do like to see what all the needlework stores are coming out with, the designers. It's very exciting. And as you can see, I still haven't done anything with my bag. It's still the same way it was. I'm still thinking on ideas. I'm not sure what I'm doing there, but for now it's just sitting there with the little squirrel holding the cat. I just think it's adorable. But one of my things that I came up with this week, I had a week where I had misplaced things, and I was like tearing things apart, and I was finding stuff and not finding other stuff, and I thought, I really need to get it together. And I've seen on a lot of other floss tubes, people are using calendars. So I happen to have this really cheapo calendar, little booklet, and I decided to go in, and each day I write down what I want to do for the needlework for that day. And I've been doing it for about 2 weeks now, a little more than 2 weeks. And one of the things that I noticed about it is that when I don't finish, when I don't actually complete it, I put an X beside it, and I write little things but next to it, like one of the projects that says just not feeling it. And then there are a couple of other ones that says like, will look nice but a dull stitch. So I kind of like that I have these little notes, and it's just one line or a couple of words, and I kind of like that I have that going forward that I can look back on and see what my thoughts were when I was actually stitching the project. So I typically have about 3 projects a day, except on Mondays, which is the day that I do the very long postal route, and I typically don't get in until late, and I'm typically totally exhausted So I typically don't stitch. I come home and I usually put my pajamas on and go right to bed. Have a cup of tea and go right to bed. But almost every other day I will have 3 stitches down. And if I don't complete them, no big deal. Like I said, sometimes I have a little note in there that says why I didn't complete it. Sometimes it's just as simple as I wasn't feeling it that day. And that's fine. But this seems to be working out well for me, this little calendar thing. It's just, it's just one of those cheapo week at a glance calendars. I got it for $1, I think, at the Christmas tree shop. But it's working out beautifully. I hope I continue with it. And it's not pretty. I mean, I'm not doing it in different colors, and I'm not making, because I knew that if I did that, I would keep putting it off, and I would say, okay, I'm going to get to my pretty arty journal, and I wouldn't get to it. So it's working out great. So next up, I just want to talk about my whips. I have done a lot of stitching in the last couple of weeks, even though I haven't been feeling well. So first up, I wanted to show you my floral postcards that I have. And I worked a lot on February, and it's from the heart, and that's February. They're violets. And I was very excited to start this because it has so much color, and a lot of the other months were not, well, no, all the months have a lot of color, but I hadn't gotten to the color on a lot of the other months. I was still working on border and the word. So this is where I am on February. It's coming along nicely. I like this. This color here is called Dahlia. It's quite beautiful, and the backstitching really makes the flowers pop. And the backstitching is done in a color called taffeta. Oh my gosh, is it gorgeous? I think it's a week's dye work, and it's really variegated. What a splurge on a backstitch for, I don't think the variegation will show, but who knows? It's gorgeous though. So I'm going to continue working on that this week, and then this coming week, and then March 1st I'll switch to the March one, which I will show you. And I haven't finished any for the winter season. None of them are complete, and I don't think February will be complete. I'll give it a try, but I don't think it will. The one that I do want to finish up, I'm going to really put a push on this month, this coming week, is the Scatter series. So this is the one that I've been working on. This is Scatter Snowflakes. This is a series. I finished the autumn one before the end of autumn, and I was able to finally, completely finish it, and it came out really, really cute. And I have a really cute idea for the finish on this one, which is why I really want to push. I love things with doodads, and this has a ton of doodads. So I'm really going to have to push, but because this is all I've gotten done. So I've got almost all of the words done. And it's a fairly quick stitch, but I'm going to really dedicate a lot of my stitching time the coming week to doing this one, so I can get it done, so I can, even if I finish it the last day of February, I'm still going to work to finally finish it with the little idea that I have, and I really hope it works, because it could be absolutely adorable and so perfect for my area, for the beach, for living on the beach. And then my next one, I'm also going to do a push on this week, because I really want to finish this, is the White Christmas. I'm working on the mailbox. This is one of my vintage postal themed ones, and this is where I am. So I am very, very close to getting that one finished. There's a lot of backstitching, which I'm not really a fan of backstitching. I know it's necessary, and I know that it makes everything look so much nicer. It's just so tedious, and it's hard to follow on the charts sometimes. This one won't be too hard, but I really want to get that one done. I was going to make it into a project bag, but I think now I'm just going to frame it. It'll just be something I have up during the holiday season, but I think it'll be fun as a framed piece rather than as a project bag, because as a project bag it won't get seen that often, so I'm not going to stick with that. And then I worked some more on some of my December and my January calendar kitties, like up here. And so I worked, there's December. And this is January. So all of the calendar kitties are done on different color cloths, fabric. And I kind of wish I had done that. I kind of wish I had, rather than chosen to do it all in the same fabric. But what's done is done. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So I didn't get a lot done for December. But there we are. These are obviously going to be going away next week. And I will start on March, April, and May, the spring months, and I'll finish up the winter ones in December 1st next year. That's when I'll start them anyways. And there's January. I like his scarf, and his scarf is the stripes are going to be stitched in this color down here, which is really cool. These are easy stitches. I don't know why I don't work on them more. Oh. We have a cat in the video. He doesn't usually come up when I'm videoing. They think it's time for dinner. It isn't. Lucky. Sorry. I will try to edit that out, but I kind of think I'm not going to be able to do it because I haven't had a lot of luck doing any editing. And I don't want to start over. And then I have Dreaming Girl, which was my new start on January 1st. And it's been a slow stitch. It's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just, it's taking a long time. It's taking a long time for it to actually look like anything. So this is what it will look like. So it's the girl, and she's got all of the, this is Barbara Anna Designs, and she's got all of the seasons in her hair. And I kind of like it because it reminds me of one of my granddaughters. And maybe that's where it's going to end up. But that's all I've gotten done so far. It's just a little bit of her. I think once I get her face done, I'll be fine. I'll be stitching like wildfire. It's just a lot. Nothing. I can't see anything yet, so it's kind of not inspiring. And then my special delivery, which are the Pine Mountain stitches that kind of got me hog wild on stitching monthlies. I keep promising myself I'm not going to buy more, but I have. So this is March, and I love, 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 love it. I love that it's not very St. Patrick's Day. There's some clover down there, and it's got green, but it's kites, and I am so fascinated by kites. Every time I've ever had an experience to go fly a kite, it has been a nightmare. And it's always ended with my children in tears. I've never even tried it with my grandchildren. I don't even want to try it, but I'm fascinated by kites. And this is what I've gotten done on this. I will get this finished. This is another one that's a push for next week, because this has to be done before March 1st so I can have it out and I can use it as my rabbit text for my family on March 1st at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm sure they love that. They get a text from me with a piece of cross stitch and rabbit. And then just dawned on me, no, it's next week. My Fancy Folk, so Stitch New England does a Zoom video, and it's called Fancy Folk, and we are all stitching Fancy Folk. And I picked up Miss Spider by Nora, I always forget her name, Nora Corbett. And she is a delight to stitch. I have only done this much because it is a lot of black. And I did start her collar, and I noticed that I knew this going in, but I had forgotten. There's a lot of beading, and I'm like I've never done beading before, and I'm kind of excited to give it a try. And I need to get the beads for it. And I think most people bead after they've done the whole project, but I've also seen some people who bead as they're going. And I think it all depends on the size. Like if you're stitching in hand, not a big deal. If you're stitching in a frame, if your frame is big enough that you never will have to move it to put, so that you don't ever have to put the clamps over the beads, then you're fine. And I do have a frame that's big enough, so I think I may pick up the beads when I go to to Stitch New England next week, and give it a try. Start beading. If worst comes to worst, if it's not working and I can't get it to, and it's making it harder to stitch, so I'll just stop the beading. But I'm kind of excited to give it a try. So the next two projects that I've been working on in my winter's stitching are ones that are one-offs. They're not like one for each season like most of my stitches. And come March 1st, they're getting put away. So this is the first of the two. And this is Silver Creek Samplers Promise of Spring. And I have finished most of the words. So I'm very happy with this. I like this font. It's very cool. I've seen they have other samplers that are similar. So I might add another one in for maybe another season, or maybe even all 3 other seasons if I can find one. It's a pretty font. It's playful, but not Comic Sans playful. It's I like it. And then the other one, and I'm going to be really sad to put this one away. But that being said, I have to say that as I've been focusing on one season at a time, first of all, it makes the season more interesting to me because I'm working in the season. But the other thing is, right as the season is coming to an end, like, March 1st is approaching very quickly, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready, I'm ready for a change in stitching. I'm ready for a change in weather. I'm ready for a change. So it's a good thing. I will miss stitching this. This is Lizzie Kate's Winter Alphabet. And I know she has an alphabet for every season, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So this is where I am on this one. I really thoroughly enjoy all of the different little borders. It's just fun. It's just a very fun stitch. I find myself, I'm a slow stitcher, but I find myself sitting down at night, and if this one comes up on my little calendar list, I think, okay, do that one last, because if you do it first, you're not going to get the other two started. You're just going to keep stitching. So then the next 5 that I have are winter stitches that are part of either a monthly series, or they're all part of a monthly series, I believe. But I'm going to put them away for at least the first part of spring. I'm not going to work on the spring versions of them, just because. Lucky. Stop it. My cat is going nuts. It is not time for dinner. I promise you, it is not time. So the first one is the square dance. I really enjoy stitching these. The one that I'm working on right now, that I finished, I actually have a finish on this, is February. So there's February. How cute is March? That's adorable. It's just adorable. And I never even started January, but that's adorable too. But the February, it came out super cute. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. There it is. So there's February. And it's got little cute little buttons on it, just 3 cute little buttons, which I think is adorable. And so the little frame, there is a YouTube tutorial, and that's another one of my goals, is to try to get, before the end of spring, I'd like to get that one of those frames done, because my idea is that I'm going to take the fabric to the fabric store. It's very hard to see it. This is called 90s Nirvana. I bought it because of the name, of course, and it's by Needle and Flax. I'm going to take that with me to the fabric store, and I'm going to try to find fabric that coordinates with it. And I want to make one frame and then make it so that I can just change out the month. I think that would be cost effective, but also space effective. I won't have to store all of those little frames. So that's my hope, is that I'm sure I'll find something. We have a cute little fabric store. It's just like jam-packed full. It's like super old-fashioned, and it's just a couple of towns over, which for somebody who lives out in the Outer Cape like me feels like a million trillion miles away. However, it is only a 30-minute, 35-minute ride. And they have, I mean, I'm sure they'll have something there that I'll love. It's adorable. It's like old-fashioned. I just really love it. And the next seasonal stitch is from Summer House Stitch Works, and this is the Winter Cometh. And I almost finished the autumn version of this. I came very close to it, but I have to say the winter one it's really tedious, because it is, you can see all of these, the triangles. It's just the autumn one had a little bit more interest along the borders. This one is just very, very tedious. So this is all I've got. Yeah, that's all I've gotten done so far, is just that much. And it's going away, and I'm not going to miss it. And I'm not going to start the spring one. The spring one is very pretty, but I'm going to wait, because I have so many other ones, and I don't want to stretch. I am stretched too thin with stitching, but I'm just going to put that away, and then maybe by the end of spring, I'll pick it up and I'll start the spring one. The same with the square dance. Maybe by the end of the month, I will switch out some of my other monthlies and then start on these 5 that I'm putting aside for until summer. Definitely will start the summer ones. If I don't touch these at all during spring, I will definitely pick them up and recycle out some of my other monthly stitches. And then the other one, and it's so close to being finished, but I just can't finish it, is the Cricut Collection. This is the one that I think everybody and their brother has. This is winter, and this is where I am on that. I have not stitched a lot on it, but I'm peeking under. I finished up the snowman. I got this snowflakes are sparkly. You can't see it in the video, but the snowflakes are all sparkly. I think I finished all of the snowflakes, and I will work some more on it this week, but I might. I think it's in my list of things to do, but it's not going to get finished, so it'll just stay until next winter. It'll definitely be finished next winter. And then the last one, oh no, there's 2 more. The Snapperland. I am enjoying this stitch very much. So this is a series of 4 charts, and it goes, so that's the first one, and then the second, the third, and the fourth. And this is where, and then there's a border. This is where I am on that. So, oops. Well, that's not going to work very well. So, I'll just keep it like that for a moment because we have backlighting here. Because this one kind word can warm 3 winter months, and that's how long, that's how wide it will be. But that's, so I started, I'm almost finished with the first panel, and I started stitching the second panel, and there's supposed to be lines, vertical lines between each panel, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to continue stitching the snow across. And the notes that I have in my calendar on this one is so much white, because the second scene is the ice skating rink, and it's just stitching so much white. And for whatever reason, my white stitches they just don't ever, they never look as flat as all my other stitches. I don't know what the story is on that. I do railroading. I do drop my needle and let it unspin. I actually take the needle out and I use this stuff that I found when I was cleaning stuff out. This is like wonderful. This is called Thread Heaven. Yeah, Thread Heaven. And it's just, I think it's just wax, but it's wonderful. I love this. So glad I found that. So the white stitches just, so that's one of those ones I'm like, I've done enough white. We didn't see a lot of white this year. We didn't get a lot of snow. I woke up yesterday morning to a little dusting. That was about all we've seen of snow this winter. And hopefully that's how it stays now. But yeah, I'm not, and I didn't plan this very well as far as where I put my works in progress, so I keep leaning over. And then the last one that is going away, and I will not be pulling the spring one out until maybe the end of spring, is the Annie Beez Sheltering Tree. So this is the winter. I will not be finishing mine anywhere near like that. That's way too much doodad for me. Even me, I couldn't do that. So this is where I am on the winter. I haven't got a lot more done, but the boxes are almost done. The tree is almost done. It's getting there. It's got a very elaborate border. This basket weave, I've stitched that on the autumn one. This basket weave is a blast to do. I really love, it's not a basket weave, it's cross stitches, but it kind of looks like a basket weave. I really love stitching that. So it'll be going away. I'll work on it again for a little bit this coming week, but this is going to be going away undone. So that's it for my works in progress. And as I said, I have been doing some housekeeping. And one of the things that I found that I had forgotten I bought years ago is this series of books called the Heritage Village Collection. Now, these are all based on the Department 56 little houses that you buy at Christmas time. So this is one of the little houses. And when my children were little, I would look at these and I would daydream and I would say, I want them all. I want them all. I want to have the entire house filled with all of these little houses and all lit up and with fake snow, and just have the entire house done like that. I think I remember they were like $200 a piece. There was no way I was in a position to spend $200 on a piece of decoration. So when these books came out, I thought, oh my gosh, those are so cute. I could have my village. And so this one I bookmarked. This is the little tea house, and that's the cross stitch. And they are, the charts are fairly simple. They're all on pretty much on 1 or 2 pages. They're not simple. I mean, they're going to take some time. But I went through the 4 books and I bookmarked the ones that I really wanted to do most. This is the City Collection, and that one is the little tea house. And then this is the New England Village series. I'll probably have to stitch all of these. But this is the one. So I was talking about my cute fabric store. This is the stitch that I want to do. It's the little fabric store. And it kind of reminds me of my little fabric store, the little old-fashioned one that I have in Orleans. And then the next one, the next book is called the Dickens Village series. And on that one, I bookmarked the Mermaid Fish Shop. I couldn't resist that. Now, I'm a vegetarian. Occasionally I will eat fish, but most of the time I'm not interested. I will eat fish if somebody else is going to cook it for me. And every once in a while, like on Mondays when I have the long route, I'll stop and get a tuna sandwich just because it seems like it gives me a little more oomph for the rest of the day. But mermaids are huge in my town, which is Wellfleet. Mermaids are, it's all about the mermaids. The logo for those town libraries are mermaid. So I couldn't resist that one. I had to do that. And then finally, we have the North Pole series. And obviously, I couldn't resist doing the North Pole Post Office. So I don't know when I'm going to do these. These won't be a seasonal stitch. This will be something that I pick up maybe at the beginning of a month and stitch on one of them, even though they are winter. And it would be nice to, when I get through with all my seasonals, to like really focus on these and do a whole bunch of them, because then my grandchildren can actually have one of these villages build their house and not have to take up a whole lot of landscape as far as flat surfaces go. I can just hang on walls. But I'll put the name of the series and information about the publisher and so forth in the description below in case anybody's looking for them. I have seen them on different reselling sites like eBay and Cross Stitch Stash, I think, was another one. A couple of places that I've seen them offered up, and they're not expensive. I mean, you might even be able to get them at Amazon. I just don't like Amazon. But I think they were like $6, $7, $8. I don't think they're very expensive. So that was very exciting. And then another thing that happened is I got my monthly issue of Just Cross Stitch. My granddaughter sells subscriptions for fundraising, so I always get one of these. And I found out that they have a new seasonal stitch, and it spans all 4 seasons, and I haven't got, so this is the first one. This is Mother Nature Spring. So there she is. I think she's gorgeous, except for the pink hair. Not crazy about the pink hair. I will change the, might be purple. I might change it to purple. I like purple hair. At one time I did have purple hair. But the pink is, it's just so pink. Not natural looking. So I'll probably change the color of her hair. But look at so they show you a picture of the other ones that are due out this year. And they're gorgeous. I really love them. So I thought that'd be fun. That'd be a fun little stitch. And then the other, I don't typically find a lot in these magazines, in any of the magazines that I really want to stitch. But that was a nice surprise. And then I found this one was in the same magazine, The Birds of Spring, which I love. I love birds. I love anything to do with birds. So I will probably stitch that one up too in my spare time. So that was that on my magazine. And then when I was cleaning out, I found another project that I had started many years ago. Actually, I didn't find the project. I found one piece of it. So this is a Valentine postcard, fabric postcard that I made. And it's all hand stitching around the little detail around the chocolates and the little saying, which I made up, kind of made up. I took it from Life is a Box of Chocolates. May yours be filled with stuff you love. because it always seems like when I get a box of chocolates, there's always some kind of lucky one that I end up choosing that I don't like. And I mailed it to myself. So this was in November of 2020 that I mailed this to myself. And it mailed fine. It came in, I didn't put any cover on it or anything. I just stuck it, I just addressed it, put a first class stamp on it, sent it through the mail. So I know I had about 30 of these stitched up, and all I was doing was hand stitching the little saying on it, and then gonna stitch the back to a piece of cardstock, and I can't find them. So that's a project for when the weather gets better and I can have the windows open, because every time I go through digging through stuff, the dust gets all over everything, because everything gets dusty. Got a lot of windows in here. So things get dusty, and I have no curtains because I don't need them and I don't want them. And I just end up with a sore throat. So I thought that this is what I'm gonna find these. I'm going to get this stuff cleaned out and maybe get some stuff donated or thrown away or whatever, things I know I'm not gonna do, and get that finished. And then, speaking of cleaning stuff out, one of my sisters, had a little bit of a flooding event with the cold. We had a really bad cold snap and pipes burst. So she was doing this whole big cleanup that ended up going from her basement all the way up to her second floor. And my other two sisters and my two daughters and I decided, oh, for heaven's sakes, Lucky, I'm so sorry. We decided we would go out and help her. She lives in Plymouth, which is about an hour drive from my house. And one of the things she found was this doll. And I know a lot of people get creeped out by these things. This is Jane Eyre. You know, from the book, Jane Eyre. And I think she's lovely. I love her little dress. And she came with her own very old book. The book has no information about when it was published or anything, but you can see the words are super tiny. But I read when I was a kid, probably when I was about 13 or 14. I read Jane Eyre for the first time, and it became like, oh my God, my favorite book ever. And then I read Wuthering Heights, and then from there I moved on to Jane Austen, which is a totally different kind of read, but I was captivated by Jane. Jane Eyre was my favorite. And I have listened to it on audiobook in a couple of different versions and enjoyed that. But I'd like to give this book a try because it is so old. It'll probably fall apart. It did not come with the doll, so I have, and there's nothing. I tried looking it up online, couldn't find any details. There's no publisher. It looks like maybe it was a book club, you know, like how the Reader's Digest used to have those. It's not Reader's Digest, but how you used to, you know, Book of the Month Club. So I can't find any details on it, but it is a cool old book. And the reason I'm talking about this is because there is a sampler. And I wrote it down, and then I forgot. I can't remember where I wrote it down. I'll put it in the description below. There's a sampler with a Jane Eyre quote on it. And I'd like to stitch the sampler up and then have a little shelf and put the sampler and Jane up there with the book. Yeah. I mean, she's not a collector doll or anything like that. She's like one of those doll of the month things, probably from the 1980s, 1990s. So she's not valuable or anything, but I'm very excited. My sisters were all, oh, that's creepy. My daughters were like, don't leave it to us. So, but I like it. I think she's beautiful, and she just brings back great memories of falling in love with literature from a time well before my time. Also at the same period of time, there was a book called The Pigman by Paul Zindel. That was another one of my favorite books. And Flowers for Algernon. The name of the author just went out of my head. Both of those books, you know, I love them. I absolutely love them. So that's it for today. The next time I next time I record, it will be March, and it will be not officially, but in my book, it'll be spring, and I'll have a whole bunch of new stitches to show you. I have a couple of new starts. I'll also have my, probably not all of my haul. I definitely won't have all of my haul because I don't expect that it's not going to be in until like the second or third week in March. So, but I will have some haul the next time I videotape, and it's exciting, and I hope you all have a lovely day, and winter is treating you well, and you're as excited about spring coming as I am. So, bye-bye, everyone.